Unit 4 Email Writing. Unit Structure 4.4 Objectives 4.1 Introduction to Email Writing 4.2 General Principles of Email Writing 4.3 Steps for Email Writing 4.4 Sample Emails 4.4.1 Email Writing for Inquiry 4.4.2 Email Writing for Invitations 4.4.3 Email Writing for Thank You 4.4.4 Email Writing for Request for Permission 4.4.5 Email Writing for Sponsorship 4.5 Points to Members 4.6 Check Your Progress 4.0 Objectives. The chapter will introduce learners to the overall history and evolution of email in brief. It will also give general guidelines regarding the writing of a good email. The objective of this chapter is to help learners understand the importance of formal email writing, and it is an integral part of the work culture. There is a vast difference to informal and formal communication via email. After studying this chapter, learners will understand the key points of writing a good formal email. 4.1 Introduction to Email Writing. The email writing is a very feature for helping the scores of people to share the messages instantly. It is difficult to imagine your life without email. In the ultra modern society, it has become one of the standard means of communication in formal as well as social situations too. Millions of messages through emails are either sent or received worldwide, therefore it is the standard electronic mode or correspondence. In the earliest period of history of emails, the term was used to describe fax document transmission. According to Wikipedia, the term email was coined since around 1993. Email is part of the standard TCP or IP set of protocols. Sending messages is typically done by SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and receiving messages is handled by POP3, Post Office Protocol 3, or IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol. IMAP is the transfer protocol allowing you to view and sort messages on the mail server without downloading them to your hard drive. Though there is some degree of uncertainty as to when email was invented, the father of modern version is generally regarded by American Ray Tomlinson. Before Tomlinson, messages could be sent between users, but only when were connected to the same computer. Even once computers were networked, messages could not be targeted to a particular individual. Tomlinson devised a way to address email to certain users, and thus was credited for one of the most important communication inventions in the 20th century. The publicity of the commercial use of email is attributed to the Indian entrepreneur Mr. Sabir Bhatia, who co-founded Jetstar in 2005 and Windows Live Hotmail, also known as Hotmail Corporation, in 1996. Users receive and send email using Simple Message Transfer Protocol (STMP). Other protocols including Post Office Protocol (POP) and Internet Message Access Protocol (IMAP) allow users to retrieve and store messages, although there are other protocols for message retrieval and storage. SMTP is the standard protocol for sending and receiving messages via Internet Protocol (IP). In the beginning, email usage required having a program dedicated to the application, or at least having an email device provider with a system set up to handle it. The software for the application is called email client software. There are many different email applications available, some of which cost money to use, while others are free. In addition to accessing electronic mail through email client software, webmail has also become very popular. Most email service providers after this additional benefit where the user can access their mailbox over the internet. Some email services are specifically designed using the World Wide Web as its primary interface. These sites have become very popular as they usually offer individuals a chance to open an email account at no charge. Internal emails, just like other emails, should not be too informal. Remember, these are written forms of communication that can be printed out and viewed by the people other than those for whom were originally intended. Always use your spell checker and our slang 4.2 General Principles of Email Writing. In the earlier section, we have understood that email is a computer-based communication system where messages can be written by a sender or on a computer. These messages are then transmitted via computers to the address email server where they can be opened and read by the receiver. Originally, these messages could contain only text, but nowadays anything that is storable on a computer can be transmitted via email messages. There are email systems that can handle information such as pictures, sound, and video assistance from other applications. Email is distinguished from communication services such as chat or talk by its asynchronous character. Asynchronous refers to the possibilities for the sender and the receiver of a message to send and read the message at different times. Therefore, every email writer needs to follow general principles of email writing, which involves the basic etiquettes. The following point will give you an idea what care you need to take while drafting the emails. 4.2.1 Special attention to the subject line. In order to give your email a smart heading, you are required to set your purpose and decide the subject matter in a concrete manner as it involves prompt attention. The professionals to have natural habit of scanning the details of a sender as well as the subject line. So build up a reputation for sending good, interesting, brief and useful mail. It is worth to remember that the subject line is like the caption of a news item or advertisement. Whether or not a reader judges a news items to be worth reading is often determined by the way of the caption is given. The intriguing, interesting, or shocking ones attract the reader most. Thus, the subject line should be brief, clear, specific, and well formed. They should tell the receiver clearly what the mail is about. A caution to avoid the most common defect found in subject lines is they are too broad and so too vague. 4.2.2 The length of mail. Email is expected to be small and beautiful as it will facilitate the receiver easier and stimulate you to give you the immediate feedback. The longer the text, the more difficult it is to read the text and respond. Besides, the longer the text of the mail, the more scrolling you need in order to read it, and the less comfortable it becomes. The practical problem of emails is these days, and professionals receive dozens of emails every day. 4.2.3 Courtesy. The business or social emails are no way different from the letter writing. It is advised that you should never forget to include the courteous words and use the language that suits an educated individual. In addition to your grammar, style, and punctuations, use your attitude. Courtesy is like lubricant oil, which removes friction. It makes relations as well as professions smoother and helps to maintain friends and professional relations. Courtesy softens the sting of an unpleasant piece of information, creates goodwill, and produces a favorable response. It is not advisable to write discourteous letters as it often proves very costly. One may lose both friends and business. It always pays to be courteous in business. Goodwill is the greatest asset for any organization, and courtesy in correspondence is one of the most natural and economical means of building it. Some of the phrases italicized in the following sentences have been found useful in tiding over a difficult situation and making correspondence pleasant. The examples of the following statements will be broaden your vision of email writings. Broaden your uses of writing emails. Thanks for your email of October, 12 October 2017. Thank for you very much for your email of that in December 2017. We are glad to know that you are now in a position to pay our bill. We appreciate your writing to us so promptly. We regret to inform you that we can meet your order immediately. We are sorry that you did not receive the books in time. You will be pleased to know that we have dispatched the books you ordered in your email of 16 July 2017. 4.2.4 consciousness transmission of maximum information by using minimum words should be your aim in email writing. If you clearly and concisely write what you wish to say, you will be able to arrest the attention of the reader and focus it on the message. Avoid unnecessary details and roundabout expression and come to the point directly. Remember that people are busy and they receive dozens of emails daily. It will be irritating to go through introductions and preliminaries. Do not forget that an email is a means of contact between two persons. When you meet a person after greeting him, you straight away come to the point. Adopt the same approach when you write an email. Therefore, avoid verbosity. 4.2.5 Attach essential files and pictures. One of the beauties of email is that virtually any file can be attached to email and transmitted. Such files retain any formatting done in it. This makes it easy to distribute copies of documents, software, presentations, slides, and so forth to the large number of people quickly and reliable. However, attaching files has dark side. Don't attach your mail large text and graphics files without checking in advance with the intended receiver. 4.2.6 Mind your language. At the time of writing an email, the sender should ensure that his knowledge of the receiver is comprehensive. The level of knowledge, educational background, and status of the record help the encoder in formatting his message. In case there is any discrepancy between the usage and comprehension of terms, miscommunication can arise if the sender decides to back up his communication with facts and figures. There should be accuracy in stating the same. A situation in which a receiver is forced to check the presented facts and figures should not arise. Besides, bad grammar and spelling errors can be fatal, as countless mails that flash across the globe are unclear and inconsiderate to their readers. They generate even more mails seeking clarification or explaining mails because email is conversational. The medium is so quick and so immediate that the sender and recipient feel as though they are speaking to each other a long distance. If your email contains multiple messages that are only loosely related, in order to avoid the risk that your reader will reply only to the first item that grabs his or a fancy, you could number your points to ensure they are all read, adding an introductory line that states how many parts there are to the messages. If the points are substantial enough, split them up into separate messages so your recipient can delete, respond, file, or forward such each item individually. Keep your message readable. Use standard capitalization and spelling, especially when your messages asks your recipient to do work for you. Skip lines between paragraphs. Avoid fancy typefaces. Don't depend upon the bold font or large size to add nuances. Many people's email readers only display plain text in a print. Use asterisks to show emphasis. Use standard capitalization. 4.2.7 Identify yourself clearly. When contacting someone, cold always include your name. occupation, and any other important identification information in the first few sentences. If you are following up on a face-to-face contact, you might appear too timid if you assume your recipient doesn't remember you, but you can drop casual hints to jog their memory. I enjoyed talking with you about PDAs in the elevator the other day. Every fall I get emails from badboy2315 at the rate of yahoo.com or fuzzykkltty2000 at the rate hotmail.com, who ask question about class and don't sign their real names, while formal phrases such as dear professors Needlewood and sincerely yours are unnecessary in the email. When contacting someone outside your own organization, you should write a signature line that includes your full name and at least a link to your blog or online profile page. Something that does not require your recipient or to log in first. 4.2.8 Distinguish between the formal and informal situations. When you are writing to your friend or a close colleague, it is okay to use Millie's abbreviations IARC for if I recall correctly, LOL for laughing out loud, etc., and non-standard punctuations and spelling like that found in instant messaging or chat rooms. These linguistic shortcuts are generally sense of friendly intimacy, like the sharing cold pizza with a family friend. If you tried to share that same cold pizza with your first date. 4.3 Steps for email writing. Writing a formal email can seem like a daunting task since email is so often used for personal and informal purposes. If you need to write an email to a teacher, boss, business contact, government agency, or other recipient that requires formality, just follow a few simple guidelines given below. 4.3.1 Decide the purpose. People have different opinions about the form and content of email, so it is always helpful to be aware for the expectations of your audience. For example, some people regard email as a rapid and informal form of communication, a way to say hello or to ask a quick question. However, others view email as simply a more convenient way to transmit a formal letter. Such people may consider an informal email rude and or professional. Therefore, decide who your audience is and what your purpose of writing email is. This is essential to ensure that your message has its intended effect. 4.3.2 Recipient's email. The recipient's address should be written exactly without a single letter error, as it will lead to the domain failure. Even the initial letter, either capital or small letter, if the recipient is your regular addressee, there is a possibility of stored information which you can scroll and select the exact one without making any confusion of similar names list. Therefore, maintain the contact list and store it. 4.3.3 CC and BCC carbon copy and band carbon copy. Copied individuals on an email is a good way to send your message to the main recipient while also sending someone else a copy at the same time. This can be useful if you want to convey the same exact message to more than one person in professional settings. Copying someone else on an email can help get things done, especially if the person receiving the copy is in a supervisory role. For example, copying your boss on an email to a non-responsive coworker might prompt the coworker to respond. Be aware, however, that when you send a message to more than one address using the CC field, both the original recipient and all the recipients of the carbon copies can see all the email addresses in the to and CC fields. Each person who receives the message will be able to see the addresses of everyone else who received it. Blind copying emails to a group of people. It can be useful when you don't want everyone on the list to have each other's email addresses to only recipient address that will be visible to all recipients. The one in the to field. If you don't want any of the recipients to see the email addresses, the rest you can put your own address in the to field and use this exclusively to address your message to others. However, do not assume that blind copying will always keep your recipient from knowing who else was copied. Someone who is blind copied may hit reply all and send a reply to everyone, revealing that he or she was included in the original message. 4.3.4 Subject line. Email subject lines are like newspapers headlines. They should convey the main point of your email or the idea that you want the reader to take away from your email. Therefore, be as specific as possible. Please refer to the earlier section of principles to know the significance of the subject line. Examples: thank you for your thanks for attending the special seminar. We appreciate your support. Special thanks from Vasi Tejas. Thank you for your donation. Great to see you yesterday. Thanks for coming out. Plus photos from the event. Following up from the Small Business Expo. As promised, charity sponsorship information. 4.3.5 Salutation. Place the salutation in the beginning of the body of the email. The salutation begins with the word "Dear", continues with the recipient title and last name, and ends with the colon. If you are unsure of recipient's gender and the recipient does not have a professional title, omit the title and instead use the first and last names in the salutation. Dear Anand Premal. If you do not know the name of the recipient of the email, refer to the department you are writing to your technical support. Avoid salutations such as Dear Sir or Madam. 4.2.6 Body. Start the email after the salutation. Body paragraphs will be automatically spaced with a be concise, direct, and considerate. State the email's purpose in the opening paragraph. Include supporting information in a middle paragraph or two, and conclude your email with a brief paragraph that both establishes goodwill and expresses what needs to be done next. 4.3.7 Closing phrase before you and your email. It's polite to thank you reader one more time and add some polite closing remarks. You might start with you thank you for your patience and cooperation, or thank you for your consideration, and then follow up with if you have any questions or concerns. Don't hesitate to let me know, and I look forward to hearing from you. 4.3.8 End with the closing. The last step is to include an appropriate closing with your name. Best regards, sincerely, and thank you are all professional. Avoid closing such as best wishes or cheers unless you are good friends with the reader. Write a complimentary closing phrase 2 spaces below the final body paragraph. With warm regards, yours truly, sincerely, or sincerely yours are common endings for professional emails. Capitalize the first letter of the first word for complimentary closing and end the complimentary closing with the comma. And finally, before you hit the send button, review and spell check your email one more time to make sure it's truly perfect. 4.4 Sample emails. 4.4.1 Email writing for inquiry. Inquiry is a common incident in almost every place, such as school, colleges, offices, etc. If you have any doubt regarding any matter in your workplace, you can seek inquiry by the head of the office or department or institution. For this, you have to formally write an email for inquiry. In inquiry emails, the inquiry subject should be briefly written. relevant information should be supplied to the receiver of the inquiry's mail so that he can easily go forward to make an inquiry and should and one should write that he or she is there to help him or her in the inquiry. The inquiry email should be closed professionally, that is, there should be greeting and signature sample inquiry email to principal.abc@samnow.edu. Sub request for an inquiry about admission and college. Dear Sir, Madam, I have the honor to state the following for your information and necessary action as the matter deems fit. I have successfully completed my SSC from reputed college at Mumbai. I went to take admission at your college, but my application for admission had been rejected and admissions are given to a student with lower marks. I want an inquiry about this matter. Hope you will take necessary action regarding this matter. Sincerely yours. 4.4.2 Email writing for invitations. An invitation email is a written electronic request for the presence of a person, group of persons, or organization at an event. Either social or professional in character, an invitation email is just like any invitation letter, except that it is delivered to the invitee via email. Email invitation has become a common and preferred mode of formal written communication. We prefer emails because of the timely delivery and the fact that even the printed invitation letter can be scanned and forwarded via email to jayaboy@gmail.com and subject invitation for Diwali celebrations. Dear Jayboy, this Diwali as we celebrate the return of the Lord of our Lord and Savior Rama from 14 years of exile. We will love to bring his love and hope to people around us by sharing the love of God with them. This means that there will be a service at temple at 11 a.m. on Diwali morning, immediately after which dinner will be served. Through this we hope to share fellowship and love with those that have no family members around and at the same time teach our little children the act of giving at Diwali. We will need your help as we organize reaching our neighborhood in order to invite them for this joyful event. Together we can share the heart of Lord, we give hope and peace with those that Rama will love and feast with. Yours sincerely, Sharad Saminder, Secretary. 4.4.3 Email writing for thank you. Sending a thank you mail after an interview, networking event, or any other event related to your job search or your student's life is a great way to show your professionalism as well as good attitude. It is also a way to maintain contact with people you meet during your lifetime. Thank you emails aren't just for job searching. Sending an email message to people who have helped you on the job or have done something that will enhance your career. It's a good way to cement a relationship as well as to show your appreciation. So make sure you send such immediately and without delay to shamsundar@hotmail.com. Subject: thank you for your suggestions. Dear Shamsundar Pichai, thank you for a suggestion on how to make our studies more efficient. I agree that we should begin using an electronic scheduling system and use the more and more resources available on web. It is apparent that you have thought a lot about implementing such a strategy, and I would like to talk with you about it. I have forwarded this message to even my fellow students who will also benefit from your ideas. Thanks again for your message. The ideas and suggestions, innovative thinking people are always welcome. Regards, Sadashiv Amma Porkar. 4.4.4 Email writing for request for permission. A permission email is an electronic return in order to seek permission for some event or other reason. The email is written to the higher authority by a person or a group of people in a formal way. It is indeed very easy to write a permission mail, and if you want to write one, you can have a look at the below mentioned sample. It will guide accordingly and clear all your doubts of writing a permission mail. Permission mails can also be used to get the permission for leave from school, workplace, or to get approval of some project work. To principal kj@somaiya.edu. Subject requesting permission for leave. Dear the sir or madam, hi Mr. The name of the sender, working as a destination of the sender. I am writing this letter to you. That's your name of the receiver. To kindly grant me half day leave as I am moving out of the station for wedding of my relative. I will not be working for 4 working days, and hence I want you to grant permission for half-day leave as well as 4 days off. I assure you my absence will not cause any hindrance to on the ongoing project. Till then, hoping to get a positive reply from your side. Yours truly. 4.4.5 Email writing for sponsorship. Writing sponsorship emails is a persuasive or especially if you are hoping to get someone to sponsor your event or something else you are doing. You should write a sponsorship email. Your mail must convince or sponsor that it's worth contributing and clearly outline the benefits of the sponsor gets. Writing a proper sponsorship email can make all of the difference between the securing the sponsorship or being ignored. To artsgoing.com @express.net. Subject request for sponsorship. Dear artsgoing.com, we have exciting news. We are looking for sponsors to help found in such area in need of funding. And in return for sponsorship, we are offering multiple advertising opportunities throughout the insert year class season. Would you consider sponsoring our club and donating ₹50,000 to help us in building our sports club? In demonstration of our gratitude for the sports club, would like to offer you insert specific advertising or promotional incentive in recognition of your gift. We hope you are able to contribute and thank you for the consideration. To make a contribution, simply include your gift in the self-addressed and stamped envelope included with this letter and delivery. Your donation to sports club address. Many thanks in advance for your sponsorship. Sincerely, 4.5 wants to remember. Email writing is an art. Emails are quickest way of modern communication. Write meaningful subject line. Keep the message focused and readable. Avoid too many attachments. Think before you click send. Respond to emails promptly. 4.6 Check your progress. 1. Imagine you have received an invitation mail for job interview. Draft a reply of the email. Your friend has met with an accident recently. You could not find your time to meet him personally. Draft a good email convincing your compulsion and conveying your regards for him to recover soon and assuring him all the support he may need in future. Your colleague in your department is getting married soon. He has invited you for his wedding ceremony to be held in Latur, but you already have an urgent important meeting on the same day which you cannot skip for any reason. Write an appropriate goodwill email to him conveying the real situation and wishes for his future and married life. 4. Your college has organized a youth festival and you are looking for sponsors. Write an email to the potential sponsor seeking his help in financing your event. Write a thanking email to your friend who has helped you in completing your project work.